Hey everyone, welcome back to Miss Anna's At Home Science Lab. Today we will be continuing the unit that Miss Amanda has started for you guys. So we will be continuing to learn about our body parts. Let's see what body system we will be learning about today. Remember, you'll be working for 5 stars throughout the lesson. You can earn 5 stars by answering questions, paying attention to the lesson, and being on your best behavior. All right, let's begin with our anticipatory set.
Can't do it. Dear Tim and Moby, why do we breathe? From Min. Hey, you're talking about the respiratory system. We have to breathe to live, but I bet most people don't know exactly why. Your body can store up a lot of the nutrients it needs, but it can't store the one thing that you need all the time. An invisible gas called oxygen. Inside your body, oxygen allows all your cells to make energy so they can function properly. Since you can't store it, your body takes it in all the time in a process called breathing. Breathing is the main function of the respiratory system, which, in complex animals, is responsible for carrying air to the lungs. Here's how it works in humans. Everyone has 2 lungs in their chest. Your lungs are surrounded by your rib cage, and they rest on a dome-shaped muscle called the diaphragm. Every time you take a breath, the diaphragm contracts and moves downward, and your rib cage expands. This causes a drop in air pressure inside your lungs, which the higher pressure air from outside rushes in to equalize. When you inhale, air enters your body through your nose or your mouth. It travels down the trachea or windpipe to your lungs. Inside the lungs, air moves into smaller and smaller passages called bronchial tubes. Eventually, the air spreads to the alveoli. The alveoli are tiny sacs surrounded by blood vessels called capillaries. Oxygen moves through the walls of the alveoli and capillaries and into the blood. Well, the alveoli and capillary walls are only like 1 cell thick, so it's pretty easy. Oh no, there's more. When your lungs take oxygen in, they send carbon dioxide out. Carbon dioxide is a harmful waste gas that you have to get rid of. It's made in your cells and travels through the blood into your heart, which pumps it back into capillaries around your alveoli. Your diaphragm relaxes and moves upward, which deflates your lungs and makes you exhale this used air. And so on. That's breathing. That's pretty close, Moby. Our lungs don't fly around the room or anything, but they do inflate and deflate, just like a balloon. I'd say breathing is pretty important. You want to do all you can to keep your lungs in good working order. Regular exercise helps keep your lungs in shape. And you should steer clear of things that are bad for your lungs, like smoking. Smoking damages your cilia, little hairs inside your bronchial tubes that help remove unwanted matter from the lungs. In the long term, smoking can give you lung cancer and emphysema, a disease that makes it difficult to breathe. Right, and you should avoid air pollution too. And toxic waste. And poisonous gas. I think they get the point.
All right, guys, so based on that video, what do you predict that we will be learning about today? All right, first we're going to review the steps to testing an idea. We need to listen to the question that's coming up about what will we learn about today in science. Then we will make our prediction based on the information that we have, so the video we just watched. And then throughout the lesson, we'll think, okay, did I select the right answer? Did I make the correct choice? Okay, so based on the video, what do you predict that we will learn about today? Muscles, the respiratory system, or cows? If you said the respiratory system, you are correct. All right, before we continue, let's review the steps for synthesizing knowledge. So throughout this teacher, to earn your stars, you need to be listening. Throughout this lesson, to earn your stars, you need to be listening to the teacher, listening to the whole lesson, think about the information right now while we're going over this, and then we'll think about it later and how does it apply to everyday life. All right, so here's your I can statement. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to say, I can explain how my body is able to breathe. Here are some questions that we'll be answering throughout the lesson. What system controls my breathing? What body parts help me breathe? How do I take care of my respiratory system? All right, here's some vocabulary terms. First up is breathe. You guys can practice. Breathe. To breathe means to move air into and out of the lungs. Breathing is something that we do. So, does that mean it's a noun or a verb? It's a verb. It's something that we do. Right? Then we have oxygen. Oxygen is a gas that is necessary for life and that is found in the air. Oxygen is what we breathe. And all right, then we have lungs. If you look at the body, lungs are inside of the body. These are organs that people and other animals use to breathe air. So our lungs allow us to breathe air. Then we have the word organ. Organ. This is a part of the body that has a specific job. All right, thanks for going over the vocabulary terms with me. Now let's review the steps to critical thinking and problem solving. So when you have questions throughout this lesson, I want you to listen to the question very carefully. Then I want you to listen to all of the answer choices. So don't just pick one. Listen to everything first and then think about it. And then after you have time to think, I want you to make a selection and choose just one answer choice. Alrighty. We're going to be reading a chapter in attainment called Respiratory System. Okay, in this picture, you can see several different things. You see body with body parts inside that are pointed out. We'll be learning about those. Then you also see an ashtray with cigarettes in there. So, I wonder what that could have to do with our respiratory system. Let's find out. Well, here are some of the main ideas that we'll be going over. First of all, lungs breathe in oxygen. That's what our lungs do. They breathe in oxygen. So that's what goes in, oxygen, and then they breathe out carbon dioxide. Right, here is a chart of the respiratory system. Oh, did you know that the nose and the mouth is a very important part of the respiratory system? Okay, and then we move on down to the trachea, or what we commonly know as the windpipe. Then we have the bronchus and the bronchioles. All right, and then to the lungs down here. We've probably all heard of lungs. The respiratory system controls breathing. So what does the respiratory system do? It deals with breathing. Breathing is a necessary characteristic of life, but some living things use a different system than humans. For humans, breathing involves inhaling air from the environment and exhaling it back out. The air is made up of many gases, but the body uses a gas called oxygen. The diaphragm is a special muscle that helps breathing. Right, so here's a picture. You can see underneath the lungs is the diaphragm. The human respiratory system consists of many parts, including the mouth, the nose, the windpipe, but lungs are the most important part. The lungs connect the parts of the respiratory system to the rest of the body. This is important because all cells in the body need the respiratory system to work properly or they will die. The lungs right here that you see, that's the pink part right here. Sorry, that's the diaphragm down here. Here's the lungs. Okay, and you see that that is protected by the ribs, the rib cage. You may be able to feel your different rib bones right here. So underneath that is where your lungs are protected. It's kind of like a shell for them to be protected by. All right, lungs are one of the most important organs of the body. Air goes in through your nose or mouth and down the windpipe, also known as the trachea, to reach the lungs. Lungs are breathing all the time, even when we're sleeping. They take oxygen from the air and give it to the rest of the body. Lungs exhale unwanted gases like carbon dioxide. The lungs sit behind the rib cage in our chest. They aren't very thick, so the rib cage protects them from damage. There is a branch system called the bronchial tree that helps move air all around the lungs. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are transferred between the lungs and the body and taken to the rest of the body. All right, the bronchial tree helps get air all around the lungs. Oxygen. Humans use oxygen that they breathe in. All right, you see a picture of a tree right here. So plants put oxygen into the air. Remember, we've been talking about how we need plants to survive. Well, we need the air or the oxygen that they put into the air to breathe. Oxygen is also known as O2. Oxygen is used by every cell in the body. The mitochondria use oxygen in the cell when they make energy. All animals breathe in oxygen. Humans breathe in 6 billion tons of oxygen per year. Whew! The environment does not run out because plants give off oxygen. All right, humans breathe out carbon dioxide. All right, carbon dioxide is known as CO2. Mitochondria create carbon dioxide when they make energy. But too much carbon dioxide is actually dangerous to cells. So the cells get rid of it and send it to the lungs. The lungs then exhale the carbon dioxide out of the body. Plants take in carbon dioxide to help make food so there isn't too much in the environment. All right, so the plants take in that carbon dioxide. It's all a process, okay? The plants make the oxygen that we breathe in. We breathe out the carbon dioxide, and then the plants use that carbon dioxide that we breathe out to make food. All one big cycle. All right, here's an experiment if you guys would like to do a little something. All right, so choose a physical exercise, and there are slides to go with this to come, or a breathing exercise, up to you guys, from the following slides, okay? Notice how many breaths you take per minute before and after the exercise. All right, so you can choose to do one of these, or you can choose one of your own, but here are some exercises that will keep your lungs healthy. So we have walk, doing jumping jacks, or running. All right, so if you choose to do these, notice how you're breathing before you do it, then do the activity, and then notice how you're breathing after the activity. All right, or if you would prefer to do breathing exercises to keep your lungs healthy, you can check out this link here. All right, this has all kinds of ideas to keep your lungs healthy. All right, so you can check out a video on breathing. All right, I'll let you guys do that on your own. Now, I want you to notice how you're breathing before the breathing exercises, and then after you stop paying attention to your breath, how are you breathing then? All right, we will continue on to our diversity piece. So I want you guys to listen to the lesson, think, how does this apply in the school or in the community or in the world? All right, so we're going to learn about getting a breathing test. So this is something that people who are suspected to have maybe unhealthy lungs or some kind of respiratory issues may have done.
Sometimes, doctors need to find out how well your lungs are working. This can be done with a machine called a spirometer. A spirometry test may be done at a hospital or doctor's office. Here's what happens. Spirometers have a tube or mouthpiece that you blow into. To help you do your best, a soft plastic clip will be placed on your nose so no air leaks out while you're blowing. It doesn't hurt. You'll be shown how to blow into the mouthpiece. It's kind of like blowing into a party horn for a long time. When you're told to, take a deep breath in and blow out as hard and as long as you can. That's all there is to it. Now your doctor knows how much air your lungs can hold and how fast the air moves when you blow out.
All right. You guys can also use this website if you want to learn more about your lungs and respiratory system. All right, so let's do some review. The first question is, what breathes in oxygen? Is it carbon dioxide, lungs, or muscle? If you said lungs breathe in oxygen, you are correct. Question 2 is lungs breathe out carbon dioxide, airways, or organelles. If you said carbon dioxide, you are correct. Our lungs breathe in oxygen and then they breathe out carbon dioxide. Blank is very important for the body. Cigarettes, oxygen, or desert. If you said oxygen, you are correct. Our bodies need oxygen to breathe. Without oxygen, we could not live. All right, and blank is a body part with a specific job. An organ, an breathing, or an ocean. If you said an organ is a body part with a specific job, you are correct. All right, don't forget to go in and complete your Google Forms for the day. Thanks so much. I will see you guys next time at Miss Anna's At Home Science Lab.